We're back. Hello, besties. Welcome to Dare to Overshare, where oversharing is a love language, because you know how I do. I'm so happy to be back. And today I have a friend with me here. She is a YouTuber, influencer, content creator, tattoo artist. She actually did the tattoo.
Yes. Oh my God.
Kimmy Tan, thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Let me do a little, we show it off. She did that.
Oh yes, and it glows.
Oh yeah, I know. I do have what's it called? A UV.
The UV, yeah.
So my tattoo does glow in UV light. But anyways, thank you so much for being here.
Yes. Oh my gosh, thank you for having me.
Of course. I want to start off with a vibe check and just check in with you. How are you feeling mentally, physically, emotionally, like all those things? How's life?
Life is good. Life is good. You know, obviously it has its ups and downs sometimes. And I'm sure us as a collective right now, we can all feel like somewhat of an energy shift. And, you know, I'm riding the wave. I'm riding the wave. Definitely, you know, we can get into it more into the podcast a little bit, but, you know, being human, the best version I can be.
Yeah. So you're just feeling all the human emotions.
Definitely. Yeah. Human. Yes. Feeling very human.
I love that. Okay, well, let's get into the bulk of the show, which is oversharing is caring.
Yes.
That's what I call a segment. So I always ask my guests to bring an overshare to anything that they feel like, you know, just want to get something off your chest. You just want to like talk about something that maybe you don't talk about enough, or you just really want to like vent about something. So the floor is yours.
Oh my gosh. It's like, where do we even start? Like, first we got to do categories, then we got to do topics.
There are so many different categories that you can overshare about.
Oh yeah.
That's why I always leave it up to my guest, because it's like, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I guess it's something that I've seen a lot of people, including you, post about online lately, especially in the cannabis space, is, you know, like how much it's changing and, you know, with all the restrictions and, you know, I feel like it's really been stifling a lot of creativity for a lot of creators and, you know, anyone who's even thinking about going into the cannabis space, which, you know, has provided me with so much just like happiness and opportunity over the years. And, you know, but with this scape changing, I decided I was going to start a new YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I recently just did that, and it's called Kimmy 2.0, Kimmy Tan 2.0. And, you know, it's definitely been a bit scary to make this decision because, you know, as you know, like I was one of the first YouTubers ever to start doing cannabis content back in like 2015 or like something like that. And so a lot has changed since then. And, you know, I'm very grateful that I've, you know, had the chance to sort like my YouTube channel when I first started just took off on its own. Like I got very lucky. I went viral like often and quickly. And so I wasn't planning it like initially when I went into it to like go into cannabis. It just kind of like fell into place and like I love it. But I don't know, recently I've just kind of been feeling that I haven't really fully been myself, like the full extent of myself on the internet. Like I just recently have been feeling like I don't want to just be in the cannabis box anymore, just because there's so much more like to me and what I like to do. You know, I am a tattoo artist. I'm a songwriter. I love making vlogs. Like I love exploring new places. And, you know, and as of recently, and as you know, we've been to the gym together. You know, I'm really passionate about my fitness journey and where it's taken me and how much it's changed me. And so I've just really been feeling like I really want to do that now. And this is the time right now for me to, just like fully be myself, feel all the other sides of myself, you know, on the internet.
A lot lately from people, astrologically, I'm no astrologer, so I can't quite talk on it, but I know that I did have an astrologer on the show. I don't know if whenever you guys are listening to this, I don't know the order in which these will be released, but shout out Chad the Maverick. He's a friend of mine who's an astrologer, and he was telling me this literally is about what you're saying, which is that starting 2025, basically this year and on, if you don't fully step into like your passion and what you want, it's gonna like eat at you and like eat away at you even more than it would have like last year or 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Like there's some sort of shift in one of the planets or whatever.
Right.
Like I said, listen to that episode if you really want more about that. But as you're speaking to me, I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Because he literally just told me that And it's like, you're going to feel in your body like, I need to do the thing that I haven't been doing. So I love you. I love you.
I love you too, girl.
I love that, but I also love you. It's a Freudian slip. I love that you're sharing that because like you said, you were like mainly always just kind of in that cannabis space, but you don't want to be boxed in.
No.
Right. So tell me more about like that feeling of like wanting to do more. Like what made you decide that that's what you want to do?
I don't think there was anything specific that like happened that like made me, I guess, realize this. I've been sitting on this thought for, I want to say like the past like 2 years, but I've just been scared. Like, I really feel like the internet nowadays, they, you know, with the algorithms and everything, just to know who to show your content, it's important to like have a niche and like be in a box. But it's like, you know, it's like, okay, let me rephrase that. It's like, I don't know. I just don't want to. It's like, I feel like that moment in High School Musical, like, I'm breaking free. But it's just, you know, I do a live stream on my YouTube channel once a week, every Wednesday. And yeah, you know, we smoke and chill and like do all this stuff. But sometimes I'll do like Kimmy's Piano Bar, where it's like, request any song, I can figure it out. Or we'll do like a drawing thing, or, you know, and I just tattooed at Rolling Loud. I've been tattooing like a lot more recently, really feeling like more connected to that side. And I guess I don't know. Yeah, it's just a feeling I've been sitting on. And then, I don't know, I just recently it just slapped me in the face, I guess. Like, just start the new YouTube channel. This is what you've wanted to do, you know? And sorry, what was the question?
No, I have a new question. So like, when you say you're scared, are you scared of starting a new YouTube channel with all this other stuff and it not like getting as viral? Or are you scared of like doing it and then deciding you don't want to? Like, what is the fear? Where does the fear stem from? Like, what is it that you're scared of? Or that you have been scared of because you already started? Partly, yeah, partly what you said. But I just feel like, especially when you're just moving into a new, I don't want to say niche, but moving into different types of content or just changing how you've always known to do things. I mean, I'm sure you can relate. I know you used to do like a lot of like celebrity gossip stuff on TikTok, and you know, you have a huge following because of that. That's amazing. But, you know, I'm sure it was hard, you know, to decide to like change that, you know, that doing that for you. Yeah. And I mean, I did lose a bunch of followers on my TikTok because I built the TikTok strictly for celebrity gossip. I woke up one day and said, I don't want to do this. It's not aligned with who I am as a person.
Right.
And I was making money and all of that stopped. But I was very much like, if I follow my intuition, it can't lead me wrong. And even if I lose money and followers in this moment, it's going to only lead to better things. So I still have the TikTok account, but I don't really use it. But a lot of people called me crazy. They were like, why are you stopping? You're like, because it was a momentum. Just like you, it's like this momentum, like viral content. And you think like, oh, I'm making money and I'm growing. But if something's eating away at you and you want to do something different, it would be silly to not follow that.
Oh, at 100%. And I feel like authenticity is coming back in so many ways. And, you know, I just want to be myself. I guess that's the best way I'm going to reach my full potential and produce content to the level and the way I want to, is if I do it in alignment with who I am right now. And, you know, cannabis is always going to be like, you know, a love of mine, a passion of mine. I'm always going to make cannabis related content, or it's always going to inspire me. But I don't know. I just don't want it to be all of who I am. Like, you know, when I'm older and have kids, I don't want to, you know, to show them my legacy, be like, oh yeah, this is all I did. It's not saying it's not like cool or whatever, but like,
you just have so much more.
I just have so much more to give, and I just feel like a caged bear or something, just with barriers that I've built myself almost.
Yeah.
You know?
That's always what it is. As humans, we cage ourselves.
Yes.
We think that we need to be a certain way or show up a certain way because we need to do what society or like what we've boxed ourselves into. But you know what's so beautiful is we're humans and we evolve. And and even I used to post a lot more cannabis content.
Yeah.
I hardly do. And it's not that I don't enjoy it or I'm not part of the community, but I'm like, there's so much more to me than that too.
Right.
So I think it's cool to show all the sides of Kimmy and all the sides of Jackie and all the sides of everybody. Well, I love that. I love that so much for you. And I'm really excited for your new journey.
Thank you.
And so let's move on to hot takes. So hot takes only. So I want to hear a hot take that you think that maybe a lot of people won't agree with, or it's just something that like when you do share it, people look at you sideways. What would be that for you?
Wow. I would say, well, again, categories, topics, lists.
We could do multiple. So if you have a few, that's totally fine.
This is a thought I've had a lot recently. And so on a slightly different topic, I guess, I'm kind of like a lot of my friends come to me, for relationship advice or just to like talk about like relationship type stuff. And me and my friend were just talking about this the other day. A hot take I have is I don't think you should get into a serious relationship if you're under 25. I know that a lot of people might not agree with that because, not saying there aren't successful relationships out there that you started before 25 and you're able to grow beautifully, after the frontal lobe development and everything together. But that's really the main thing, because I've just been thinking about it lately. Like any decision I made before my frontal lobe developed, I don't think me right now might not totally, just it literally like different person.
Wait, is 25
you know what I mean?
That fully develops?
Usually, yes. If you are neurodivergent, so if you have like ADD or anything like that, it could be 30 to 35 as well. So it's different for everyone. And I don't know if like my frontal lobe developed late, maybe because on my 30th birthday, which you were there for, I woke up and I just felt different that day. And I was like, is it because, I'm having this event, this birthday party that I planned for so long and I get to see all my friends and stuff. I just feel different. But no, like something chemically in my brain just switched.
Your lobe just went.
No, for real. Like I could think so much clearer. It's like every insecurity I've ever had up until this point has just disappeared. I just gained this like new level of just confidence and the way I navigate the world. I don't know. Something happened when I turned 30. And I don't know. Maybe that's the full frontal lobe development or whatever, but
it waited for your birthday.
Maybe.
Let me develop.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a neurologist or anything like that. But
interesting, because so you're saying like specifically like romantic relationships.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Well, I can attest to, I'm about to be 36 or when this episode comes out, I will be probably 36 already. But like the relationship that I am in now is the only one that even counts in my mind. So I'm
same.
Like before 36, before 35, like, you know what I mean? But again, they're all experiences that we need. We all need to go through so that we can reflect and look back. But that is interesting because before I was 25 too, like I definitely didn't fully know myself. And I think that's true for a lot of people. A lot of people don't know themselves even when they're 35, 45, 55.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? So,
oh, absolutely.
So when you tell people that, like, do you get a lot of people that disagree with you?
Yeah, obviously, if you're listening to this and you are in a loving relationship and you guys both met before, you turned 25 and now everything's great, you are a rare gem. Like that is rare. That does not happen for everyone. And so obviously, I feel like that's what makes a relationship beautiful is, navigating changes in life, in financial state, in career, in everything together. But the reason why I say don't get into a serious relationship until you're over 25 is because during that age, like 18 to 25, there's so many life changes you're going through, so many different phases of life. If you're going to college, coming out of college, getting a first job, whatever it is. I just don't think it's fair to expect everyone to make like big life decisions before your frontal lobe is developed. And I feel like I know a lot of people, me personally too, that before 25, getting into a long-term serious relationship that you don't realize is bad for you until sometimes it's like too late, And so if there's any advice like I would give on that topic, I would say, if you're in a serious relationship or in a relationship before you're 25, like, don't take it like not don't take it too seriously, but you know, from your older self, from your big older sister here, just wait. just wait. If I could give one piece of advice to my younger self, it would be to not do that, or just take it a little bit slower, you know, before that age. And you don't have to make decisions so fast.
What do you think are like the telltale signs that someone's in the wrong relationship? Like, what is?
Ooh, when you say a statement like, yeah, we fight, but then when we're not fighting, it's really good. It's like, well, duh, if you're fighting all the time, like anytime you're not fighting, it's going to feel amazing when it's just, you know, regular. So I guess when you say things like that, or, you know, you start to justify things like that with statements like that, might be a sign that, you know, might not be the right relationship.
Yeah, like it's good sometimes and it's not good all the time kind of thing.
Well, you know, all relationships, you know, have good and bad, but if you specifically say the phrase or something to the effect of, yeah, we fight a lot, when it's bad, it's really bad, but when it's good, it's really good. Ooh, man.
And a lot of them have been in that, you know.
Oh, yes.
I have.
Me too.
Have.
Oh, yes.
This is one of those things that if you're listening and that's you, like, don't take offense to it. Don't get defensive about it. Just like stop and ask yourself, like, why is it that you are saying things like that? So,
right.
You know, because sometimes it's hard to get out of a situation that is toxic, because when you're in it, it's like the rose-colored glasses and you almost don't know how bad it is until you're done with it and you look back and you're like, oh my God, I allowed that behavior. It's like you change yourself, you change for somebody else, and then you realize later, like, wow, I don't know who I was in that moment.
Yup, I did such a disservice to myself. I was, you know, trying to make someone else happy when I really should have been focusing on like what I want, making myself happy, you know, things like that. And, you know, I feel like not like it's something you need to go through or anything, but I feel like if you have been through something like that, you are in a very powerful position, because now you have all this knowledge and all this wisdom and the foresight to see, you know, where you went wrong and hopefully not end up in the same situation again, you know.
Cycles, because people go through that. What was like, I know that you, like I said, we both have had situations like that. What was the like moment that you like woke up and realized like, I'm not doing this anymore? Like, what was that moment for you?
Well, for me it was there's some things like I don't want to say on the podcast that I'll tell you.
You only overshare on the things you want to overshare about.
Okay.
Don't say anything.
I think a moment for me is when I realized that I was spending so much time pretending to other people and the internet that I had a good relationship when I was just crying, dying inside. And I think there was just one incident that just left me in a place where I just felt so pathetic and alone. And like now looking back, I'm like, how could this person do this to me and see me like that and leave me in a place like that and just not feel a single thing? You know, after just like repeated moments of that, I really, you know, started to think, you know, otherwise. But you know, pandemic happened and you know, really like took the world, turned it upside down and just really, really shook it. And so I feel like going through something like that with the world really like woke me up too. And, you know, when me and that situation, you know, ended, I just got so much clarity and I was just so happy and free. And initially when the breakup happened, I was so pathetically sad and so like, oh, I don't have a reason to live, and, you know, just literally rock bottom. But like I needed to be there in order to come out the other side, you know? And so, yeah, I just realized how much I was lying to everyone about how happy I was when I really wasn't.
That comes with being it's interesting being a public figure and like having people watch your life. And then when you feel like you're lying to the public and then you also feel like you're lying to yourself, that is a wake up moment. So thank you for sharing, because I know it's not easy to talk about things like that. And honestly, to the pandemic, it's like what a hard time for so many people, what a horrible time, but also like it was such a great thing for a lot of people because it shifted you. It shifted me too. Like I went through a spiritual awakening during the pandemic. So like it did definitely do a lot of good things for certain people. So like for you, it really helped you like wake up to that too. So what an interesting time for everybody.
Oh, yes. Oh, it was definitely, in a weird way, the pandemic is like one of the best things to happen for me. I needed something as big as that. And, you know, unfortunately, everything else that was happening around that time to just, you know how they say, like, if you want to become something you've never been, you have to get rid of everything you've ever known in some kind of way. And so I just really like shook myself off of like all that old like heaviness and baggage and trauma that I was going through for so long in that very, very public relationship. You know, I still get messages to this day, like comment to this day of like people who, you know, aren't caught up and they're like, wait, what happened to the other guy? And I'm like, please do not. Like,
Mind me.
No. And obviously, you know, I don't want to, you know, air every single piece of personal detail out there, but sometimes in those moments, part of me is just like, if only you knew, like, if only you knew the nights, like the amount of nights I just cried myself to sleep. And, you know, before I went to therapy would just go to extreme measures to get help, any help, like out of that situation, but I couldn't. And I was like stuck in that situation for like a really long time. And so, yeah, I'm just glad I'm not anymore.
Glad you're not too. I know. Thank you for that hot take. And I definitely appreciate you sharing. And like I said, if anyone's in a situation that doesn't feel right, if you're crying yourself to sleep at night because someone's making you feel a certain way, just ask yourself, is it worth it? The answer is no.
No, it never is.
All right, I want to take a tiny little break just to do my little sponsorship because we are sponsored by Sunset Drip. This is a Vietnamese coffee made in Vietnam, dreamed of in California. Sunset Drip. If you want $5 off, just type in Jackie upon checkout on their website and enjoy your caffeinated beverage.
Cheers.
You can drink it now or you can drink it later, but I'm staying caffeinated.
Hell yeah, I want to try. I love Vietnamese coffee.
Yeah, so good. And I really love the packaging too.
Oh, yeah.
So while you're having your little sip,
ooh,
you like it?
I do.
So I want to move on to ask and you shall receive. So I ask a lot of questions on my TikTok, my podcast TikTok, Dare to Overshare podcast. Follow me on TikTok. And any questions that I ask that get like a lot of response, I'm like going to bring them in here and ask my guests. So the question that I chose for you that I already have posted on my TikTok, have you ever had a fear of your partner dying? And if so, how do you handle it? And the reason I ask this question on my TikTok before you even answer is because I've been in multiple relationships in the past and I've never had this fear come up. It was never like a question in my mind, like, what if my significant other dies? And then when I got into this current situation, all of a sudden I was plagued with this fear that what if he dies? And I like think about it a lot and I'm like, am I going crazy? And so I asked on my TikTok, does anybody else feel this way? And so many people were like, oh my God, girl, I think about it all the time. And I'm like, maybe that just means that this is actually so real that now that fear is real. So I thought I would ask you if that ever goes through your mind.
It does every now and then. And, that's a very good sign that you're thinking that way because if it wasn't, a real serious relationship, you'd be more worried about, is he going to cheat? But no, I'm worried about what if he dies?
That's the only fear that I have.
I feel that. And I definitely have some worries that, thought crosses my mind sometimes too. Because my boyfriend, he lost his father when he was 2 years old to colon cancer. And so I know that it's in his family. So I'm always on him like, hey, go to your butt doctor. And, get that, like, stay on top of that, especially like knowing that that's in his family. Definitely have that fear sometimes because it's, I guess some people don't, but to me, it's like, how can that not be a thought sometimes, especially it could happen anyway, but I don't want to go too much into that, but I've definitely had some thoughts of that every now and then. And it scares me.
Do you bring it up? Do you actually say like, hey, I have a fear of you dying? Or like, is that too dark and like you guys don't talk about it?
it's been brought up every now and then, but not in that context. More of like, oh, if we have kids one day and something happens to me, XYZ, stuff
Or
like that.
practical stuff.
Right. Like, how would this go? How would this go? Type thing. But, we've never actually sat down like, hey, I'm scared of you dying.
Yeah, like, am I going crazy? Because I've had this conversation and I'm like, why am I keep thinking about like, I'm just gonna wake up one day and like, you're not gonna text me and be like, oh my God, what happened? And then like, you're just gone forever. Like, so I really just didn't know if like other people in relationships just like have that.
I do every now and then, if he's like, off working somewhere and he doesn't reply to my text like right away, I get the thought like, oh my God, what if he got in a car crash? What if he just passed out like just in public? What if, oh no.
So though it's a good sign because we're not worried about like, oh, what are you doing? Like,
right.
Shady, you're cheating. It's like we're literally like,
are you alive?
It's like I think it's a good fear to have, fear nonetheless. So I think the more I talk about it, the more I can like release it and let it go. But so many people were commenting on that TikTok and they were like, girl, you're not alone. I'm literally like, I ruminate on this all the time and it's like plaguing my life. I'm like, okay, well, it's not to the extreme that I like think about it all day.
Right.
I think about it like more than I probably want to be honest.
I feel you. And I feel like it's totally natural to, have those thoughts, especially, if you're not high schoolers anymore and that's just not, something. But I think it's a sign that you need to recognize in yourself, like, oh, that means like this is real. Like I truly care about this person so much to where like I'm worried about their health like constantly. And I'm, at least for me, that's how I address them. Like, hey, go to the doctor. Hey, check up, this, that, and the other. Like stay on top of that. Get your blood work done. Get your, 3-month checkup. Go to the dentist. Fucking,
I'm constantly reminding mine to just wear his seatbelt in the car. And I know he's out there like,
oh my gosh, he's playing with his life.
I'm like, put your seatbelt on. I care about your life. Speaking of fears, though, since we're on the topic of fears, do you have any fears left in life? And like, if so, what are they? Like something like big.
I feel like dying alone has always been, like a big fear of mine. Fear. I've always we're just talking like heights, the water.
Yeah, fears. All types of fears.
Ooh.
All fears were created equal.
All fears are created equal. I guess my biggest fear at the moment is, tying back to what I said at the beginning of, me getting back to myself and like doing what I want to, is the fear of like looking back at my life at the end of it and being like, I didn't do what I wanted to, or like I should have done this, I could have done this. And, I definitely sometimes still have moments of who I am right now is still catching up to who I am meant to be and destined to be. And I'm just trying to minimize that by just doing what I want and not thinking about it too much. And, so yeah, I never want to have that fear of, I never did this. Because definitely when I look back on like my entire career as a YouTuber, content creator, there's so many missed opportunities, I think. And I don't think I pushed myself to the full potential, the full extent of what I could have done, projects I could have worked on, like music I could have released, art pieces I want to do, shows I want to go on, whatever it is. Like I'm just going all out right now. I'm just doing everything I want to do. And because I don't want to have that fear of I missed opportunity. I never did this. I should have done this,
Yeah, I think us as creatives, like we want to do so many different things that sometimes it's hard to do them all because like, we only have so many hours in the day and like, we have to sleep and we have to eat and we have to rest. And then it's like I have all these projects. But I think like I know that when people ask older people, like kind of like deathbed type talks, like, what do you wish you would have done? Or what do you regret? Like people are just like, oh, a lot of people are just like, I wish I spent more time with those I loved, or I wish that I did the things that I loved. It always goes back to like, it's never like, oh, I wish I like made a bunch more money, or I wish I or I wish I accomplished this thing. It's always like, I wish that I did like more things that I loved. So I think that fear is normal, that you're like, there's not enough time in the day to like do everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. If I didn't need sleep, I would be unstoppable. Unstoppable. I would win at life if I just didn't need to sleep and never felt tired and I could just like go all the time. Like oftentimes I feel like all the creative ideas in my brain are just too much for like this human body to handle, you know? But part of that too is also, you know, I've been more intentional lately about just reaching out to people, even if it's people I haven't seen in a long time, or whenever people cross my mind, I'll text them and be like, hey, I was just thinking about you. Hey, let's catch up, or like whatever. You know, I never want to miss that opportunity. Like you said, like I don't want to look back at my life like, oh, I wish I spent more time with people I loved and, you know, think like this and the other. I used to be really scared of like being cringe to my friends, like, oh, why is she reaching out to me, or intruding on people's lives or whatever. But now I don't think that I have that fear anymore. Like I'm going to text you. If you don't reply, okay, cool, whatever. But you were on my mind. I wanted to talk to you. We haven't talked in however many long years, but there's never a bad time to reconnect.
I texted you to come on here and you
yes,
never know until you try.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Okay. So now I want to talk about manifesting real quick. Like, I want you to tell me, what is it that you haven't done yet that you've been thinking about whether it's like it can be a project or something like related to career, or it can be like somewhere you want to live or something you want to do. But like, tell me something that you want to manifest, because I want you to be able to speak it out into existence right here, right now.
I want to release a song. We've talked about it a little bit, but yeah, I went to Berkeley for songwriting. I've written like albums on albums of music, but I've just been too scared I don't know why, I just haven't gotten around to fully, because it's a long process, you know, to write, to produce, to master, and like everything like that. And yes, I'm manifesting that. I'm holding myself accountable by putting this out into the air right now, that I do want to release a song.
So do you have stuff that you've completed that hasn't been released, or you want to just start fresh and like write a new thing?
I have songs written that have not been produced. I have, you know, a lot of like raw recordings of stuff, or just, you know, something just like I threw together on GarageBand or whatever. But no, I want to do it for real. Like I love music. I love being around musicians. I love, you know, just being in that sort of atmosphere. It gives me life. And so that is a part of myself that I feel like I've been ignoring, that I do. Like I've been talking, like I'm gonna do it. I want to do it, you know?
You're going to.
I'm going to do it.
Well, this is the era of Kimmy of not being afraid to
do it.
Box, right? That you've like had. And now you have Kimmy 2.0 on your YouTube. So it's like, why not add another layer and release a song? And I know like me and you both grew up listening to a lot of like emo and like,
oh girl,
over that too.
Hell yeah.
Some of your old videos where you're like playing guitar and singing. So like, what genre of music would you be releasing now?
Oh my gosh, I love. So I'm a melody writer. I'm Lennon. No, I'm McCartney. And I just love writing just like happy, catchy hooks that just make people feel good. So definitely like pop. You know, but there's many subgenres of pop. I don't know,
the
dance
emo era.
Emo inspired, you know. It's never a phase, Mom. I love that you were emo, by the way. I had no idea up until I saw like your email icon was like an old photo of you looking emo as hell, and I'm like, girl, okay, scene queen.
Oh my God, we're gonna have to throw up some pictures right here.
Yes, raw XD. I see you.
Here, this is us being emo and scene.
Oh,
I know we have so many pictures. You're gonna have to send me some of your favorites.
Oh yes, and you know, at some point I was like, maybe it was just a phase. I did just go through an emo phase, but no, I feel like I still love emo music. I still love, you know, like pop punk and just like metal, and I don't know. I feel like, you know, the past, I want to say like 10 years, the music industry's been mainly, you know, like hip hop and rap and stuff like that, which I like too, but I don't know. My heart is emo. Very emo.
I love that. Okay, so Kimmy will be releasing music.
Holding myself accountable. Yes.
This year. No.
Chill out now.
Or 25 knows up.
High possibility. That's the goal, you know. And
working on it this year.
Oh yes, music, art, everything, fitness. I just want to do it all. I just want to do it all.
You are doing it all, and I love that. And now let's move on to note to younger self. So if you were looking at Lil Kimmy, Lil Kim, if you're looking at Lil Kim, what would you tell her right now?
I would say, man, there's so many things I would say, but I would tell her to slow down, to stop putting other people first, still keep the big heart that you have. It's your superpower, but just know that once you start loving yourself first, and you will, everything else is going to fall into place, you know? And just that it's going to be okay. It really is going to be okay, you know? Life is meant to have ups and downs, and it's okay to not be okay sometimes. And those moments of not being okay are essentially going to be what shapes you to become the person that you're proud to become. And so slow down. It's okay. Love yourself, you know, typical cliche.
I love that. I feel like whenever I get my guests to do the note to younger self, it's like, yeah, you're talking to your younger self. You're also just talking to your current self. And you're also talking to like anybody out there who just like needs some words of encouragement. So I just think it's like such a beautiful thing to do.
Oh yeah, like connecting with your inner child, or just like connecting with your younger self, is so important, especially the older you get, you know. I feel like when we're all young, especially when we're creatives, you know, we just look at life so starry-eyed, and everything just seems so hopeful, and there's just so much passion and excitement into everything you do because you haven't, you know, seen the rest of life yet. And I think it's
my
frontal lobe hasn't developed. And I think it's still very important to connect to that side of yourself, because as you get older, things are going to happen. You know, motivation gets low, this, that, and the other. And reconnecting with your younger self is the best way to remind yourself of who you are, the essence of who you are, the magic that is in you that hasn't died. Don't let it die, because you could let it die if you want to, but, you know, and to do that, I do things like listening to old music that I used to listen to. I recently went to like a live show, like a concert of this band that I used to be obsessed with called the Click Five. And oh my gosh, girl, it was like I turned 14 again. It was so beautiful. And yeah, it was so healing. And so I think it's really important to do that too.
I love it. Yeah, I agree. I think just like even doing activities as an adult that you used to love as a kid, like for you, like going to see that concert of like the band that you really liked, or just like what hobbies did you like to do when you were little that you just like don't do anymore because it's like, oh, I don't have time, or it's not realistic, or it's just a waste. And it's like, you want to go hula hoop in the park? Like you want to go blow bubbles because it sounds like fun? Like do it. It feels really, really good to do those things more than you know. So I'm talking to myself, and I'm also talking to anybody else who just feels like when you feel like life's a little too serious, life's a little bit too like monotonous, it's like go do some inner child stuff and watch how you feel after. Such a big difference.
Absolutely.
So tell everyone where to find you, what you're working on, and any shameless self-promotions.
Yes. You can find me on Instagram at Kimmy Tan Official. Same handle for TikTok, Kimmy Tan Official, and Twitch. You find me on X at The Kimmy Tan. That's the place I can post all my uncensored cannabis stuff over there. Just full on, you know, old school nostalgic content type shit. And my YouTube channel, Kimmy Tan, and the new one, Kimmy Tan 2.0.
Lots of fun things.
Yes.
Thanks so much for coming on, for sharing all of your deepest, darkest secrets. And you guys, thanks so much for listening. I'm so excited to continue on with this podcast. This is season 1. We're going to be moving on to season 2 very soon, especially with lots of new guests that are fun, just like Kimmy. So I'm really excited for that. And we'll be back next time. And I love you guys so much.